Now joining us for more on this is economist Dr. Sanele Gumede. Good evening, Doctor. Thank you very much for joining us on the late edition. So tomorrow will be the minister's third attempt at tabling a somewhat satisfactory budget. But many have stated the issues remain. There's a 75 billion rand fiscal gap that needs to be filled without compromising other spending priorities. What do you expect to hear tomorrow?
Good evening, Wondo. Good evening to the viewers as well. Yes, the budget is going to be tabled for the third time in a very unprecedented way that you've seen this year, that we've tried to present the budget that will pass. Look, South Africa, if you're in finance, you're stuck between the rock and the hard place because South Africa is grappling with many challenges. One is we're in a country that is not really, we have not seen enough growth to sustain ourselves and to create jobs that will be sustainable and present a better future that we need to live in. And secondly, the disturbing stats that we're getting as well is that in the first quarter, we've seen an increase in the unemployment figures by 1% increase. And if you look in some other provinces, it's getting higher to over 40% official unemployment, of which this then become the priority that South Africa is struggling with unemployment issues, struggling with low growth, struggling with massive levels of poverty as well. While at the same time, we need to balance our financial affairs, like the deficits that we have, the debt to GDP rising to over 70% as we speak, and you don't want to temper with that. Also, because if you temper a lot with debt to GDP, we're a crisis that we need to think of the sovereign rating.
But Doctor, pardon me for interjecting there.
But the positive outlook. So all of that you need to factor in as the minister prepare and present the budget tomorrow.
Pardon me for interjecting there, but then where then how can they fill the gap now? Because if you were saying that the borrowing is probably not an option, it was either an increase of VAT or at least this borrowing option. But if you're saying we know that it was projected to possibly settle at around 76%, the IMF has come out now and actually placed it at around 88.7%. That's the debt to GDP by 2030. So everybody knows that would be untenable and it would defeat the purpose because you'd be borrowing only to service that very debt and use very little of that money to actually deal with the service delivery issues. So where or how do they plug that gap of around 70 billion?
Okay, you know, the longest term, medium term thinking of it is that I was happy to hear the president speaking about some serious economic reform. That's why I'm hoping to see how are we going to reform and restart the economy, and with the focus more on the infrastructure. It's a good one to say, look, when government spends more on the infrastructure that the private sector can use to further its investment and invest in more job creation and the like. A quick one that we expect tomorrow's budget to look into. We're waiting to see what the minister would do in terms of the sin tax, alcohol, tobacco, and fuel levy as well. We are projecting that we will speak on those. I think it will try and get more money from those which are the low-hanging fruits at this moment. But
corporate tax? Do you see him touching corporate tax, though?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Do you see him touching corporate tax, though?
I don't think so. Corporate taxes, as I explained clearly, is also in early budgets that they don't really provide much revenue. As you might have planned it, I don't think corporate tax will be the solution in this case. But you do need to look into to say, for instance, if you think of the budget must put to action what the State of the Nation address has promised. So now, if the budget should give us the confidence that the State of the Nation address will be actioned. No one had questioned a lot on the State of the Nation address, but the issue now is coming as we're questioning the budget, because the budget doesn't show the growth which the one that presented before didn't show the growth which was presented in the state opinion address. I think mainly is this budget, as it focuses more on infrastructure spending here, we might not see immediate increase in GDP growth now, but in the medium term going forward, I'm expecting to see a positive outlook as we move forward. Remember again, Fundo, that we're already 3 quarters into the new term of government. We should be already okay. We've almost finished the first quarter with 3 quarters remaining until this year end, government year end. So now we don't have enough time to look into the budget, which might upset more people, like increasing taxes. I don't think an increase in taxes will be a part of it here. But strengthening SARS to collect more taxes and ensuring that they collect taxes where they might have deficiencies collecting in the past, I think that will really be a good focus here, which will raise enough money for SARS, which then boosts enough that government will spend going forward.
All right. Doctor, thank you very much for your insights this evening. That's economist Dr. Sanele Gumede sharing his expectations for tomorrow's budget 3.0.